Hi everyone, this is Crispy1001 at KeyPCoolStuff.com. This is our second video on using Blender and Blender2FSX tools to make models for FSX. So let's open Blender. This time it'll be a little bit different. I will not be telling you verbally which buttons or mouse buttons I'll be clicking, because I've learned to use screencast keys. So you can see right here in the lower left corner of my 3D workspace, you'll see a mouse. If I click the left button, you'll see it light up. The right button, if I click it, it'll light it up. And the middle button will light it up. And if I use any keys, like for scaling, the S key, it'll show onto the side of it. So let's get going. Let's go back. We're going to go to left orthographical view, and we're going to start shaping our object now to go along with how our body or our fuselage is. So we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to put in some loop cuts. First loop cut will be for the beginning of the window. The second loop cut will be at the top of the window. The third loop cut will be the back of the cockpit area. And then we'll have to put one more loop cut just so that we can put this real steep down angle here. I was going to just extrude, but I think it'll be better by us having a slope there. So let's get going. So I'm going to do a Control R. I'm going to drag the loop cut to where I want it. So I'm holding down the left mouse button and clicking on it, holding it and dragging it. And then clicking left mouse or the Enter key to keep it where I want it. Hit the A key to unselect. I'm going to put another loop cut, Control R, dragging it where I want it. Remember to hit Enter or the left mouse button to get it to stay where you want it. If not, it's going to move with you everywhere you put the mouse. We're going to put another loop cut. Oops, there we go. Move it where you want it. We're going to add another loop. Well, hit A to unselect. Control R again to put another loop cut. And this one I'll put really close because this is the one we're going to use to do our slope. And Enter. Now we're going to take these two vertices here. I'm going to zoom in, and these two vertices here, and we're going to raise them up to the height, well actually right there, the height of our cabin or our cockpit. So B to select, drag, G, and we want to raise it in the Z axis. So hit the Z key. About right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, remember to hold down the Shift key to move your 3D workspace. We're now going to work on our lower vertices. So A to unselect, B to and left mouse button and drag to select vertices, G key, Z key. Oh, it doesn't tell you the Z key. Okay, you have to hit Z to go in the Z axis. For some reason, I guess the screencast doesn't do that one. And then drag it down using the left mouse button, or I'm sorry, just moving the mouse. And then when you have it where you want it, you can hit either the Enter key on the keyboard or the left mouse button. Hit A to unselect, B again, select this vertex, G key, Z key, and drag down. I might have those off a little bit, so we may go back and fix them later. Oh, and let's see. Okay, well, let's move these vertices here. So A key again, B, select, G and Z, move it down. I'm going to go back and fix these vertices because they're off a little bit. So A, B, G and Z, A, B again, G to grab, Z for the Z axis, A to unselect, B again, G and Z, I'm going to zoom in, A to unselect, B again, G and Z, okay, that's looking pretty good. We're going to put one more loop cut in. We're going to put it right before or the leading edge of our elevator and rudder. So let's hit A to unselect, Control R again, drag that loop cut to the very beginning of the rudder and elevator, and either the Enter key or left mouse button to make it stay. Unselect. Let's zoom out a little bit now. Okay, we're now pretty good for this side view. We're now going to go to the top view. So 7. Now you can see we're not wide enough, so we're going to zoom out a little bit. B key, select all these vertices along here. G key and the X key to move it in the X axis. A to unselect, B to select the vertices again, G for grab, X for the X axis. Okay, we're going to have to add one more loop cut at this point here so we can taper from that point down to the back. So we're going to hit A to unselect, zoom out a little bit, hold down Shift key and drag with the left mouse button, the middle mouse button. We're going to do Control plus R again for a loop cut. We're going to drag that loop cut down. Oops, I can't go past that point. Okay, we'll leave that one there. Hit A to unselect it. Oops. First you have to remember you have to hit Enter or the left mouse button to make it stay. So I'm going to hit A, I'm going to hit B again. I'm going to move these vertices down into the location we want down there. So G to grab, Y for the Y axis, right there. A to unselect, B to select again. We're going to move this one again in front of the very beginning of the elevator and the rudder. So G and Y. Okay, I'm going to zoom in now, and I'm going to use the Shift and the middle wheel on the mouse to move the 3D workspace. I'm going to hit A to unselect again, B to select. I'm now going to use S for scale and I want to scale in the x-axis, so I'm going to press X. And A to unselect. Then zoom out. And that looks pretty good for the top view. Now we need to go, oopsie doopsie. Okay, go back to top view. Okay, now we need to go to front view. So we're going to hit, remember, Control and the number 1 key. Now we're looking at it from the front. I'm zooming in. And we look real good from the side, the front view. So let's zoom out, and let's just hold down the middle mouse button now and rotate. Now you can see what your your body looks like in perspective mode. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we have our object pretty much the shape we want right now. We're going to name it now. So we're going to go over to the right toolbar, and click on the Object tab. Go down to the name of cube, and we're going to type in body, and enter. Okay. Now let's go back into the top view, so 7, and now we're going to add a cube to start our wing. In this tutorial, we're not going to make the whole wing and then cut our wing out to make the aileron and the flap. We're going to make the wing at this point here, and then we're going to add on separate cubes for the flaps and ailerons. Same thing we're going to do for the elevator and the rudder. And then maybe later on tutorials I'll show how to go through, set up your vertices so you can cut your wing, cut your rudder and your ailerons and your flaps out of your wing itself. So let's get going on that. My 3D cursor is out of place, so I want to put it back to where it should be. I'm going to use this toolbar here. I'm going to scroll up till I find the 3D cursor, which is here. I'm going to type in 0 for the X, 0 for the Y, and 0 for Z. I'm now going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to go to Cube. Oops, I messed up. We are in edit mode still. And the way I can see that, I've just added in a cube, and you can see that it is highlighted with the vertices and faces and edges. So let's do a Control Z to undo that. We're going to hit the tab to get out of edit mode. The reason why we're doing this, if I would have went ahead and did that, I'm adding the cube in, or the wing, as part of the body object. I want the wing and the body as separate objects, so we need to do it, or add the wing in object mode, not in edit mode. So let's go back now and do a Shift A, go to Cube. Now we have a cube again. We are going to see, 36 feet is our wing, so we can either go to dimension here and do it that way, or we could go into edit mode and just pull the vertices out. You can do it either way. Let's do it in edit mode this time. So we're going to go tab to go into edit mode. We're going to hit A to unselect all. We'll zoom in a little bit. B to select the vertices, G to grab, X for the X-axis, pull it over, go to A to unselect, B to select. Remember, I'm holding down the Shift and the middle mouse wheel to scroll my 3D workspace. I'm now hitting G to grab, X for the X-axis, and pulling it over. Zooming out, A to unselect, B to select. We're going to select the top vertices now. G to grab, Y to Y-axis, A to unselect, B to select, select the lower vertices, G to grab, Y for Y-axis, and we have our wing in the shape, at least to the top of the wing. So we can hit A to unselect and Tab to go out of edit mode. Now we'll look at it in the side orthographic view. So Control and 3. Now we need to move it into position. So our object should still be selected. We're going to hit G and Z to move it in the Z axis. We're going to zoom in. Looks like I may have had my drawing off a little bit, but we're going to leave it the same dimension or width that width that we set it up from the top view. We're going to go into edit mode again, so Tab. We're going to go to B, or hit B button. Select the lower vertices, G and Z. A to unselect, B to select, G to grab, Y for Y-axis. Oops, I'm messing up. I'm putting it the same width as also with our flap. So we only want to go to this point right here. Okay, so from the side view we have it set up. So we want to hit A to uh-oh, what's going on? Oh, there we go. My computer was a little slow then. And Tab to go out of edit mode into object mode. We're going to hit Control and 1 to look at the front of our plane. Zoom out a little bit. And it looks like we're good there. So we have the main wing done. Now let's go in, we'll add the elevator. So let's go to the top view, which is 7. Oh, I'm sorry, let's go ahead and name our wing first. So in this tool panel here, the right tool panel, we want to make sure that you're in the Object tab. Go to the name, it should say Cube, and we're going to type in main wing. We're going to scroll by holding down the Shift key on the keyboard and the middle mouse button. We're going to move our 3D cursor by hitting the right mouse button where we want it. I want to put it about right in the middle of the elevator. We're going to do a Shift A, go to Cube, zoom in, go into edit mode, Tab, A to unselect, B to select, G and Y, A to unselect, B to select, G and X, A to unselect, B to select, G to grab, X for the X-axis, A to unselect, B to select, G to grab, Y for Y-axis, and from the top now we have the shape of our elevator. Hit A to unselect and Tab to go into object mode. Now we'll go to the front view. So Control and let's go to the left orthographic view. So Control and number 3. So you can see we're very thick and way out of position. So let's, with the cube still selected for the elevator, hit the G key and the Z key to move it up into position. Well, it looks like I'm just off on this one side view for some reason. But we're going to leave it the way it is. We're not going to resize it because then it'll mess up the top view. Okay, now we have it lined up at least for the top. We're going to go into edit mode, so Tab. We're going to go B to select the back vertices, G to move, Y for the Y-axis. I just said I wasn't going to move that. Hit Escape to undo what we just did. Hit A to unselect. I'm sorry about that. We're only going to move the bottom vertices. So we're going to hit B again, select the bottom vertices, go G and Z. Okay, we have it set up for the side view now. Hit A and Tab to go out of edit mode. Zoom out. Okay. Now we're going to go into the front view, Control and 1. Oh, we're good there. Okay, now let's add the rudder. So let's go to the side view, Control and 3. We're going to move our 3D cursor again in the middle of the rudder. Left mouse and right mouse click. We're going to unselect our elevator. Oh, let's name it first. I'm sorry. So before you do that, make sure it's still highlighted. If not, left click on it. Go to your Object tab and type elevator. Now by hitting the A, you can unselect it. We're going to do a Shift A. We're going to add another cube. Zoom in, middle mouse button, Shift, and hold middle mouse button again to pull down. We're going to go into edit mode. So hit Tab, A to unselect everything. We're going to go B, select the top vertices, G and the Z. We're then going to go A to unselect, B to select the lower vertices, G and Z. We'll pull it down just a little bit below the fuselage. A to unselect, B to select the back vertices, G to grab, Y for the Y-axis, let's grab and move the whole front there. So we're only going to grab this one lower vertex, so A to unselect, V to select, G to grab, Y for the Y-axis. We're now going to grab this vertex, so A to unselect, V to select, G and Y. Okay, we're lined up there now. So let's hit A to unselect, tab to get out of edit mode. Let's go ahead and name our rudder. So let's go to the object tab in this toolbar, the right toolbar. Click on the name and go rudder. Now let's go into top view to make sure we're lined up there. So 7. Whoa, we're really thick. So we need to size that. We're going to stay in object mode to do it. So we're going to hit the S key and the X key to do it size in the X. And we're going to have to move it a little bit. Doesn't look like we're centered. Okay, so we're going to hit the G and the X to grab and move in the X. That's good. Okay, now let's go into the front view, Control and 1, and that looks good. We're going to scroll out. We're going to hold down the middle mouse button and rotate in perspective mode. And you can see basically what your plane's starting to look like. Now we're going to leave it very blocky like this. We're not going to go into any detail because we're basically, this tutorial is to teach you how to use the Blender2FSX tools just so you can get in the animations, you can get the textures, you can get the virtual cockpit, how to lay it out, how to set up your textures for a virtual cockpit. So it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be useful for what we're going to be doing. So the next thing we need to add in would be our landing gear. So I'm going to pause for a minute, so please bear with me. Okay, I'm back. I stopped so I could see how long I've made this video so far. I'm almost to 30 minutes. I want to try to do each one of my videos 30 minutes so you're not having to stay too long for each video. We're going to end this video at this point, but I want to make sure and go in and we're going to save. So save, or file and save, and you can go ahead and close or minimize your Blender file. I'm going to go ahead and close mine, and I'm going to show you to go in. We're going to make a backup of what work we have done so far. So we're going to navigate to where we have our main project folder. We're going to click on our Blender file for our project. Mine is test plane 1. I'm going to do a right mouse click. I'm going to copy. I'm then going to double click in my backup files folder. I'm going to do a right mouse button and I'm going to paste. Then I'm going to, with the file still highlighted, I'm going to left mouse click. I'm going to left mouse click at the end of the name. I'm going to do a shift and the underscore and 1 and enter. I do this every time I do a backup. I'll do test plane underscore 1, test plane underscore 2, and so forth, all the way down, as many backups as I do. I hope you enjoy the tutorials and you're learning stuff from them. Please give me any input. You can reach me at crispy1001 at kpcoolstuff.com, On this YouTube video, I'll put my email on it so you can email me and give me feedback, either I'm doing good or not good. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.